the job interview. This is, again, now this article talks about an interview from the perspective or point of view of the employer. Okay, just like you need to prepare for an interview, you also need to prepare to interview someone. So if you're going to hire someone, you can't just you can just create a simple ad or different things like that, attract people. But once they've shown up for the interview, you need to kind of have in mind what are the things that you're going to ask them, because it's just going to make your job more difficult and more difficult to hire the right person. So this is what this article talks about, and it seems like, oh well, it's kind of easy, but the thing here is it still needs to be structured and well planned. All right, so there are different steps that are involved in the hiring process, and some of the decisions you need to make are outlined here quite well, I think, in this article. And then the first thing, when you're creating the job description, be as specific as you can without sharing irrelevant information. So this article suggests, now keep in mind, whenever I am reviewing or I'm going through something that someone else has done or prepared, the reason I'm doing that is to automatically give you two perspectives in one video about what's good and what's not. And here it says thoroughly familiarize yourself with the job description, especially its hiring criteria. Right. So the hiring criteria, what level of education are you looking for? What kind of experience you're looking for? And then you've got number 2, review candidates' work history. Now, depending on which part of the world you live in, this can be problematic because not all the information that is presented to you as an employer might be accurate. All right, so most people have that standard resume with the cover letter and so on, and they've got different places that they've got their experience from. So how do you effectively do employment verification? In some countries like the US, employment verification is pretty standardized. They can actually go in and check your references, and there are many ways to obtain reliable information. But where I live in Karachi, Pakistan, there is no automated system that can track people's records of employment, so this work history stuff can be problematic. But that's not what this is talking about here. It's just talking about, okay, so if you trust what this person has written on their resume, then you can go in and probe them for questions and clarification about what it is that their work experience entails and how possibly that is relevant and could benefit you because of the position that you've created. Having a schedule, okay, set up a general structure for the interview. So basically you might have a series of questions that you've already prepared beforehand. I don't particularly like this method because it has not worked effectively for me in the past. Personally, I don't even request a resume sometimes. I just get them to do something practical and test them whether or not they're able to, and then I move on with the hiring, and then I look at their different habits, work habits, kind of get an idea with that, and kind of put them on a probationary period. But in the end, having a set list of questions that you want to ask your prospective employees is not a good thing, but this is where I don't have to. Like I said, this was written by Robert Half. He usually has pretty good ideas and suggestions and ways to go about things, but I don't agree with the set of questions. Prepare key interview questions. This is again a lot of what interviewers like to do. And then it says try to commit the questions to memory, maintain eye contact. That's an obvious one. Maintaining eye contact is essential in any type of communication. Hold the interview in a comfortable setting. Yes, before conducting an interview, be sure to make arrangements to hold it in a room that's private and reasonably comfortable. Generally speaking, a conference room is a better place for conducting an interview than your office. Now, that's just an opinion, and any article that you'll come across will just simply be obviously sharing the author's opinion. My opinion is that that's kind of, well, first of all, common sense, that it should be a comfortable setting. You shouldn't be conducting interviews on the roadside. Now, there's a lot more to preparing for an interview than this, but then I just felt like this article made a few good points.